Hi there, I'm Michael Giblin with Fiddlershop.com, and welcome to Michael Explains It All, or Nothing at All.
Michael explains it all, or nothing at all.
The Jargar Evoke Violin String Edition. You might be thinking, Jargar, don't they make cello strings and viola strings? But I've never heard of their violin strings. Okay, there are some violin strings, but for the most part, they're beloved by cellists and violas, and violinists probably don't really know much about their violin strings. But all that is starting to change. Jargar is turning up the heat on the violin world by releasing not one, but actually 2 sets of strings this month. This is the Young Talent, which I'm going to talk about in another video, so we can get those out now. Today we're talking about the Evoke. Now there's something peculiar on the back that I will draw your attention to. It says, designed in Denmark, made in Austria. Now, of all the countries in the world that make great violin strings, what other company is in Austria that they would be partnering with or have some connection with? You guessed it, it's Thomastic Infeld. And this kind of makes sense because these 2 companies have long had sort of a gentlemanly agreement in not stepping on each other's toes. Thomastic will come out with a new string set and only make it for violin, maybe viola, but really take their sweet time in releasing it for cello. And Jargar will come out with a cello string and just sort of, wait for quite a while, because actually Young Talent has been around for cello for quite some time, and only now are they releasing it for violin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, please.
Go for it.
Oh, no,
You were here first. Come on.
Oh, no. Oh, those look nice.
Those are nicer.
Oh, yes. Oh, but please, I insist.
No. Age before
I
beauty.
couldn't possibly go first.
Yes, you can. Come on.
What do both of these companies want? Yes, they want to eat Perastro's lunch. Specifically, they want some of that Eva Perazzi money. More money. And so, with Evoke, you can bet that they're trying to evoke the essence of Eva, because these strings are pretty similar to Eva Perazzi greens. These are strings that everybody loves. However, they want to make a string that sounds like Eva Perazzi, lasts longer than Eva Perazzi, and 3 is cheaper than Eva Perazzi. I think they got 2 out of 3. But it's a close call. I'm going to play them for you against, of course, Eva Perazzi greens, and also another set by Jargar that you maybe don't know, but that is the Jargar Superior strings. Now, of course, Jargar Superior and Evoke are different strings. They're in different price categories, but since you are probably not super familiar with Superior strings, as I'm not really either, I'm going to play them on the same violin. Now, I normally play them on my Fiddlerman artist violin. However, I wanted to find something that was very dark, so I picked up this Mingjangju 903, and it had dominance on it, and it was just very dark. Everything was very muddy, so I wanted to see if I could brighten up and sort of liven up this violin using the Evoke violin strings. So let's go. So with dominance on this violin, everything was too dark, too kind of cloudy. And so now here it is with the Jargar Evoke strings. Okay, these are a really nice set of strings. Let's get into it with the grading graph. Here, my favorite thing ever. Projection right off the bat. These are a powerful set of strings. They're very loud. It's nice that when you step on the gas, they go. It's like they're soloist level strings at a section player's price. I don't know. I'll get into price more later, but they're not like Peter Infeld level power, but still respectable. I think a lot of these qualities is that it's a very sort of well-balanced string set. There's no super extremes in any direction, so everything's a little bit just kind of in the middle, which is a good place to be. One of the points that is a little on the extreme is color. These are a bright set of strings, but so are Eva Parazzis. And so initially I had them on the Fiddlerman Artist Violin that I do most of these string demonstrations on, and it just wasn't the right match. Everything was a little too bright. So finding this Ming Chengju was a good example where everything now is a little more well balanced, a little more corrected, because I think if you have a dark instrument, these are worth considering, because it's kind of brighten everything up, give it a little nice sparkle, which is what we want. We want sparkle and power and nice night out with the... Anyways, focus, we're going to put them kind of a little bit in the middle. They're not incredibly broad. They're not super incredibly narrow. They're just sort of, it's a nice balance. It's a clean sound. It's got a nice little shimmer to it. Depth, again, just about sort of middle of the road. Nothing too deep, too boomy, nothing too thin. Quick response, everything just kind of speaks very nicely. Alright, so this is a little bit related, but moving on to the next one, I think clarity and response sometimes are related in that there's a little bit of still metallic-y shimmer, which is a good indication that the strings will last a long time. But right now, a little bit when I play quickly, I'm still getting a little bit of that surface sound that usually will wear off if I've been playing these a little bit more. These are, I've been on the violin for a couple days, but still I haven't really dug into them incredibly much, so I can't really speak to longevity, which is a major selling point that Jargar is trying to really sell, or is really trying to push in order to attract people to convert from Eva Parazzis, is the longevity issue. So stay tuned for more information on that. One last thing I will point out is that the E string is a removable ball. Okay, so thanks for bearing with me through all of that. What's hard about making these videos, and I think what's also hard about finding good information about strings on the internet, is that it's all so subjective. Like, it matters what instrument I'm playing that on, and bow, and what microphones you're hearing this through, and what speakers you're listening to this through. So all that is very hard to control, and so the only real thing that you can judge is the difference between these strings and other strings. So what I'm gonna do, and why I do all this, is so that you can hear the difference between these strings and Jargar superior strings, and also Eva Parazzis. So here we go. I hope that was helpful to hear those back to back. To summarize, 1, do they sound like Eva Perazzis? Yeah, they sound like Eva Perazzis. Not exactly the same, but they're definitely in the ballpark. 2, do they last longer than Eva Perazzis? Now, unfortunately, I can't answer that because, on one hand, I enjoy being one of the first people on the internet to demonstrate how strings sound, but the downside is I can't always report back after 2 or 3 months and say, hey, they still sound as good as new. If a string company could just get those 2 things right, they would just take the cake, right? Sound like Eva Perazzis, last longer than Eva Perazzis. Third one is, are they cheaper than Eva Perazzis? Confidently, I can say yes, it's quite nice, and what a breath of fresh air to finally have a string set that is not over $100. Now, I would say that for those 3 things, this isn't the world's best string, but it's for people, I think, that enjoy that Eva Perazzi sound, are tired of paying the Eva Perazzi price. And look, Jargar is a well-established string company, and partnering with an even also more established string company that focuses on violin strings, it's a winning combination. So I'm very excited about Evoke strings and where they fit kind of in this grand scheme of violin strings. And I think there will be a lot of people that will really enjoy playing Evoke strings that don't want to pay premium dollar, but are happy with a really reliable and good sounding set of strings for a reasonable price. So, let me know in the comments section. I do love hearing from you. If you are a Jargar string player, the few, the proud, where are you? Let me hear about your experience playing Jargar strings. Did you come from a different set of strings? And are you excited about the new Evoke strings? If that's you, I've got a link where you can purchase them from Fiddlershop right there in the description box. Thanks so much for watching this, and I hope it was helpful. Do check back. I've got a string video coming up about Jargar young talent and hearing all the at least 3 of the newer strings all compared side by side. So thanks so much for watching this, and we look forward to seeing you at fiddlershop.com.
Fiddlershop.